Wow. Well, it's truly an honor to be back on the Hill. And I just want to start by saying I'm really inspired by my fellow honorees, what Katie said about community and teamwork, what Mandy said about persistence, responsibility, and the well-timed F-bomb. I really liked that. And what Darren said about the value of hard work. It's just amazing to be here. Here at Jewell, I learned the power of pairing critical thinking with meaningful action. And that combination shaped the person I am today. After dinner last night with 4 very impressive students, Rithika, Dami, Ian, and Owen, I saw that spirit still going strong. And I even got to visit my old bedroom in the Lambda Chi house, which has the exact same furniture, it's just rearranged. I want to say thank you to President Chambers, the trustees, faculty, the team in advancement that put this together. Dr. Armstrong, thank you for such a generous introduction. I'll never forget meeting you as a prospective student, and you challenged me from day one, pushing me to work harder, to spend a summer in DC, to apply for the Truman Scholarship, and dream bigger. Thank you for being an outstanding advisor, but especially for believing in me. I'm fortunate to have some important people here with me today. My parents, Frank and Karen. I feel immensely proud and lucky to be your son. My friends Carrie Vanderford Sanders, doctors Lois Ann and Kim Harris, they all traveled long distances to be here, and I can't imagine my journey without any of you. Most importantly, my husband Thomas Sanchez is here. He's my partner in life and in business. Thomas, any success or achievement I've had over the last 17 years has been either with you or because of you. When I said I wanted to move to DC, you left a great job at Cerner and you uprooted your life to be with me. A few years later, when you said, let's start a business together, I replied, are you crazy? But you believed in me and in us. And 15 years later, we've built Social Driver into something that's beyond what I could have imagined. And then when everything seemed like it was going perfectly, we got some big news that I had cancer, and you helped me navigate the stress of that and get to the other side. Oh, and when you told me that when I told you I felt too young to be recognized on Achievement Day, you reminded me that when I enrolled at Jewell, none of these students were born yet. So when I was a college student, I never imagined being an entrepreneur or owning a digital communications firm. I'm not even sure those existed back then. I wrote for the student newspaper, which we printed. And shout out, by the way, to Hilltop Monitor staff. No, I dreamt of being a diplomat, like Dr. Armstrong said, or a journalist, or a nonprofit executive. But as I told the student leaders last night, even though I never officially had any of those titles, I've gotten to do so much of what I dreamed of doing, just not exactly like I imagined it. William Jewell challenged me to think critically, to ask the tough questions about the world we live in and the role we play in it. Dr. Armstrong didn't just want us to have opinions, he wanted us to defend them, refine them, and grow from that debate. Dr. Lois Ann Harris, advisor to the Hilltop Monitor, encouraged us to find our voice, but then use that voice on behalf of others. During a time when the campus was debating how welcoming it should be to LGBTQ students, I told Lois Ann I was thinking about leaving Jewell. I wasn't out yet, and I wasn't sure where I fit in. She said, you could leave, but what if you stayed and tried to make a difference? That question stuck with me. It stuck with me my whole life. And watching some of the straight guys in my fraternity, Lambda Chi, speak up with courage for all students, well, that made me realize I did belong here. At Jewell, I came to understand that critical thinking must be matched with meaningful action. Show up as your authentic self. Step in where you're needed. Put your values to work in the real world. And we don't all share the exact same values. That's what makes life interesting. Now, it's not lost on me. This is a challenging time for the Jewell community. As I've reflected about my years on the Hill, one memory keeps coming to mind. On May 4th, 2003, the Sunday before final exams my sophomore year, William Jewell's campus was ravaged by a tornado. Some thought that the $10 million in damage would force the college to close. No lives were lost, thank goodness, but the devastation to our campus and our morale, it was indescribable. It would be easy to assume that what I remember most about those events is the destruction, the toppled clock tower, or the despair of students whose belongings had been ripped from their rooms and scattered across campus, or how happy we were that finals were canceled. Darren remembers that. But no, my most vivid memories are of how the community came together to rebuild and to recover. We all know Jewell's motto, Deo Fisus Labora, trust in God and work. But it wasn't until that recovery that those Latin words came to life for me, because I saw community members praying with their hands and feet, the president of the college side by side with faculty, staff, students, alumni, cleaning up debris, everyone stepping up, using their own gifts however they could. Now, I was the outgoing editor of the Hilltop Monitor, and we had just published our final issue of the year. We were done. But during the relief efforts, President David Sallee called me. There were rumors that the storm would force Jewell to close for good. Dr. Sallee asked if I could rally the remaining Monitor staff to create a special edition of the newspaper to document Jewell's recovery. But Dr. Sallee, I said, the staff have all gone home and we don't even have electricity in Brown Hall. I know you'll figure it out, he said. And Lois Sands said, we will. Miraculously, the power was restored. Some staff returned, but alumni who had graduated and students who'd never even written for the paper joined us to produce what I now realize is a historical record of the incredible resilience of the William Jewell community. I recently dug out a copy of that special edition. Remember, we printed it on paper, and rereading it filled me with hope and with optimism. It reminded me of what this community is capable of. And I want to share an excerpt from 22 years ago. This week, we've learned that how a community operates under normal circumstances isn't the most important thing. Instead, it's how we react under pressure that matters. It's an enormous feat to plan graduation, but producing it when you have to change the venue last minute is astounding. Feeding a community on a daily basis is a tall order, but providing hungry volunteers meals with no electricity makes every bite taste even better. Melissa reminded me we had steaks grilled during that time, actually. People like that. Moving student possessions out of residence halls is trying, but doing so in an hour with a tarp over your head makes a hectic move-in day seem like a trial run. Bringing a college community together under a shared vision is incredible, but uniting a much greater community to rebuild our home, well, it's nothing less than a miracle. No storm, whether it be a recession, a controversy, or a tornado, can dampen the sense of community found here at Jewell. Rereading that article and returning to campus, it's reminded me just how incredible this community is. William Jewell has endured many trials over 150 plus years. The Civil War, the Great Depression, the Macarena. Yeah, and we didn't even dance on this campus back then. And even a literal tornado. But time and again, the resilience of this community has been nothing short of a miracle. So as I stand here, humbled, honored, and with so much still to learn, I'm enormously grateful that this community showed me what's possible when critical thinking is matched with meaningful action. That lesson is more important now than ever. And so whether you're a student or an alum, my hope is that you'll not only keep asking those tough questions, but that you'll step up, speak out, and use